Star Wars 7x7 episode 3074. It's Saturday, which often means it's a what to watch now episode, and that's what we've got here for you today. You know, we haven't checked on one of the YouTube channels in quite a while, actually. I was rather surprised to see that's the case, but it turns out we haven't missed much, but we'll talk about what there's been so far. Punch it. Hey Rebel Rouser, I'm Alan Voivod and this is Star Wars 7x7, your daily dose of Star Wars joy, and thank you so much for joining me for it. So the Disney YouTube channel, not the Disney Plus YouTube channel, but the Disney YouTube channel, we haven't checked in on that in a while. It turns out it's been like since September of last year, so yeah, it's been a bit. And there isn't a lot of Star Wars content on there, as it turns out, or hasn't been in the past year and change, which is great. There's basically 7 videos that I would flag for your attention, and I have a playlist of these at the YouTube channel for the podcast. That's SW7x7 on YouTube. 3 of them have to do with Star Wars Celebration, and I'll admit it was actually fun to go back and get a little nostalgic about it. It's been 6 months plus since Celebration happened. It's just shocking to believe it's been that long, but one of them was a highlights video from Celebration, and what was particularly cool for me about that, at least, was the shots from the Mandalorian experience, which had a lot of props and costumes and exhibits and that sort of thing in there. I didn't get to go see that at Celebration Anaheim, so it was very cool to get a peek into there. Then there was a time-lapse video, which, you know, again, it's just nostalgic stuff. It's very cool. And there were some shots that were repetitive between the two. That's okay, you know, whatever. And then there was a series of interviews with various people who were at Star Wars Celebration, and they were answering fun questions. So people like Ron Howard and Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen, Moses Ingram and Rupert Friend, Genevieve O'Reilly, Diego Luna. And they're answering questions like, you know, what's your favorite character? If you could meet a Wookiee or an Ewok, which would you choose? And if you could visit any planet, which would you choose? What kind of lightsaber color would you choose? You know, stuff like that. And those are short videos. They're barely over a minute each of them. Another particularly short one, but also interesting, is a video that highlights what to watch after you've watched the Book of Boba Fett. And so it's suggestions to watch other things on Disney Plus featuring Boba Fett, including The Empire Strikes Back and also the Story of the Faithful Wookiee, which is the animation from the Star Wars Holiday Special that they have under the Vintage Collection in Disney Plus, and also the Clone Wars, and particularly recommending seasons 2 and 4 with episodes featuring the young Boba Fett. And I think for me, you know, seeing that, okay, yeah, that was kind of cool, but I'm actually a little surprised that they haven't done similar things with other series. Like, particularly, they could have done that after the Obi-Wan Kenobi series and said, you know, what to watch after that, because, you know, the entirety of the Clone Wars and the prequel trilogy, right? There's definitely stuff that they could have shared about Obi-Wan after that series was done. So I'm kind of surprised that they haven't done that. And another short one is more of a Halloween-themed one, so we're catching up to this one more than a little late. But there is a video of an expert pumpkin carver creating a Grogu pumpkin. And I will say, just overall, like, super talented and amazing. When the eyes went in, that's where it felt wrong for me personally. It looked like it was human eyes within the pumpkin somehow, but, you know, the craftsmanship is just extraordinary. And yeah, it's really a wonder to watch. And then there are 2 longer videos, longer, 4 minutes instead of 1 minute. One of them features Ashley Eckstein, who is, of course, the voice of Ahsoka Tano in Star Wars Rebels and the Clone Wars. And she takes you through the Galactic Star Cruiser experience. Now, that's the thing that we haven't talked about for a while, the Galactic Star Cruiser, the big hotel experience situation attached to Galaxy's Edge in Florida. In this video, she walks you through various parts of the Galaxy's Edge experience. You get to see the main atrium area and other characters interacting. There's stuff about the missions that she was going on Batuu, about helping Chewbacca off of the Galactic Star Cruiser in one of the on-ship missions, being on the bridge when the First Order attacks. All very cool stuff. And then, of course, the surprise showdown that happens at the end or near the end of the whole experience, which I don't know if I should say what that is or not. I mean, it's been out long enough that probably, it's already out there, but Yeah, I think I'll pass, but there is video of what that experience is, at least parts of it. And her own enthusiasm and excitement for the experience is just, it's palpable, it's infectious, it's charming. Yeah, it's so wonderful. I really enjoyed that video. And again, especially because I haven't seen anything about it, I've practically forgotten about it. And you also get peeks into the 2 rides at Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, Smuggler's Run and Rise of the Resistance, which are just tremendous. Rise of the Resistance was incredible. And the last one I want to highlight is from a series of videos that they have called Learning from Disney Visionaries. And this one features Ming-Na Wen, who is of course Fennec Shand in the Book of Boba Fett and voices that character in The Bad Batch. So this particular snippet, another 4-minute longish one, it's an interview thing with her, and they did it around Women's History Month. And so the topics that they cover include, the ideas of being a role model and early pivotal moments, a key mentor in her life, advice from her mother that she still carries with her today, and also what it's like navigating male-dominated spaces. It's a really good conversation, and there's one quote from her that I really liked where she talks about making stuff more personal, and she says, the more personal your story, the more universal it becomes. So when you're telling stories, do try to make it as personal as possible for yourself, and that's actually the way through to make it more universal. I thought that was a particularly cool little moment. So again, I have all of these videos on a playlist of Disney Star Wars videos tied to our YouTube channel for the show. That's youtube.com/SW7X7. And hey, if you have a YouTube account, regardless of whether you're doing anything with it, if you wouldn't mind subscribing to our YouTube channel, that would be great. We're actually getting close to 1,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel. Yes, I know that's a lot less than a lot of other folks, but it's a very cool milestone I'm hoping to hit sooner rather than later. So if you are connected at all to YouTube in any particular way, please consider subscribing to the show there. And that is going to do it for today's episode of the podcast. It just remains for me to say thank you so much for joining me for it, as always, and may the Force be with you wherever in the world you may be.
7x7 is not endorsed or sponsored yet by Lucasfilm Limited, Disney, or 20th Century Fox, and is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Star Wars, the Star Wars logo, all names and pictures of Star Wars characters, vehicles, and any other Star Wars related items are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of Lucasfilm Limited, or their respective trademark and copyright holders. May the Force be with them. All original content is copyright 2021 by Star Wars 7x7. We hope you love it.